Just waiting for everybody to get on here. This is the Family Nightly Broadcast. I am a cast member here. I am Luke, aka Dragonwise. So we're just going to give everybody a few minutes, pop on and see what's going on the broadcast. Hey, Top Notch. Glad to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Just waiting for everybody to get in here. See how many people are gonna hang out. Hello, Sunflower. Everybody see me okay? Give everybody a few minutes and then we'll start. All right. Okay. Welcome to the Family Nightly Broadcast. I'm one of the cast members on the family. My name is Luke, aka Dragonwise, and I am here every Monday at 9 p.m. And a little background about me: personal trainer and fitness consultant for the past almost 13 years. I am a personal trainer that specializes in transformation from the inside out, because fitness is one of the few things that is so hard and so difficult that it really kind of questions who you are. So last Periscope family broadcast, I was talking about labels and removing the stickiness of labels, and how when we stop labeling situations as positive or negative, especially when someone, something happens and someone says, oh, that's such a bad thing. Well, is it a bad thing? Is it really? If you're learning from it, is it really a mistake? If you label something, you've suddenly put it in a category. You've put it in a box, right? You've labeled it, you've categorized it, and that's all it can be, because that's all your perception can see. And when we are suddenly aware of those labels, hello, little kitten, welcome. When we suddenly are aware of those labels, that they're there, and we're able to remove them and rip them off, what ends up happening is there's still that stickiness, there's still that sticky residue, because the label's been there for a long time. It's been there for sometimes all our lives. And the first thing that happens once we remove that label, because we say, oh, I don't want this label anymore. This doesn't define me, right? I am not this label. I'm something so much greater. And the first thing that happens is something comes up in our life that it's like the opposite of what we wanted, right? We just said, no, this doesn't define me. And then someone comes around and says, no, you are that thing, right? You actually are that. And it's like this, it's a test, right? Well, that's just the stickiness. That's just the stickiness of that label still wanting to be back there, right? That's all that is. It's just like, it's so used to being there. You have all these behavioral, unconscious things that happen, all this energy that's being transferred, and the energy hasn't yet been transmuted. It's in transition of doing so. And it's almost like you ask, I'm going to go do this. I've set my intention. I'm not going to allow people to push me around anymore, and I'm not going to be that person that gets kicked around and bullied and everything. And then what ends up happening? Someone comes around and bullies you, right? You say, universe, God, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I asked for. This is the opposite of what I asked for. It's a test. It's a test to see, really, is that really what you want? Is that really what you desire? Because I don't think so. I think you want that label back, right? Because that energy hasn't yet transferred. That stickiness is still there. But yes, those tests are horrendous, right? But there you're labeling the test, right? The test is what it is. See, life is all about lessons, right? And there's some deep lessons that we have to learn. And a lot of them is claiming our personal power, right? a lot of people are learning that lesson, how to claim their personal power and how to stop giving their personal power away to others. That it was never theirs to begin with, right? It's always your choice. It's always your power. You're always in control. What are you attracting into your life by your actions, by your body language, by your thoughts that is bringing these things around, these tests, right? And see, the lesson is repeated over and over again until it's learned. And the problem with it is if you don't figure it out on the first lesson, the second lesson is just a little more challenging. Third lesson's just a little more challenging. Fourth lesson's just pretty challenging. And by the fifth or sixth lesson, it's pretty awful. It's a pretty awful place to be in. But you've heard the old adage, whatever doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. Well, as long as you learn from it. As long as you learn from it, you stop playing the victim card. You stop listening to this label, right? No, that's gone. That's not actually out there. That's just stickiness. That's just the stickiness. Label wants to be back, but I'm not going to do it, right? When we stop labeling the situation, right? It's a test. It is what it is. Positive, negative, doesn't matter. It is what it is, right? When we start seeing these tests, when we start seeing these things come into our life and we're like, this is what I don't want. Well, if you set your intention for something and the opposite shows up, it's there to test you, but it's there to springboard you forward. It's actually there to change your whole entire energetic environment. Because once you pass that test, once you stand up for yourself, once you establish, no, I'm claiming my personal power. Now, not everybody's going to be real keen on that, and especially if it's an interpersonal communication relationship, right? If it's a deep relationship. The deeper the relationship, the stronger the offense. So let's say you're in some sort of relationship that's abusive, whether it's parents, whether it's a significant other, a friend, someone that abuses you in some way, and you don't like the way you're being treated. So you decide, you know what? That's it. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to take back my personal power. This is mine. You can't have this. I'm ripping off this label. I'm not going to be the abused. And then that person's like, look at this person. Pumping the brakes? Yeah, right. It's too late. It's too late to pump the brakes. I'm not going to have any of it because I know you and you are not that, right? I own you basically, right? I have the title. It's like your name, I have the title. I own you. Nobody owns you. Nobody owns you. Nobody can own you. It's when we think that someone else has power over us and we allow them to take our power instead of claiming our personal power like we should, instead of holding on to it like we should, instead of saying, no, this is mine. The thing about claiming your personal power is that once you claim it, it's completely outcome independent. It doesn't matter what the other person says. Exactly. It doesn't matter what the other person says. If the other person says, yeah, right, I don't think so, you're not going anywhere. I own you, right? I'm paraphrasing, right? Because they might just say, you'll never make it, or you'll never see, the kind of dreams that you're looking for without me, or whatever it is. But who at that point is scared? Not you. You're claiming your personal power. That person is getting defensive. They're fighting you, right? They're losing control. You're gaining control, they're losing it. Now, the final step is normally some sort of physical response. Now, depending on where that person is in their awareness and their consciousness, it might turn to a physical altercation because that is the last grasp of power. They can't control, they can't manipulate it, they can't control their own lives, they have to control yours, and now they can't even do that because you're claiming your personal power. It doesn't matter what they say. You don't care what they said. You don't care if they agree with you. You don't care if they're happy about it. You do not care about any of those things because you're claiming your personal power. You are saying, this is mine. I'm my own authority. You have no control over me. And they say, yeah, whatever, a bunch of nonsense. You'll never have that. But you're outcome independent. You've already stood up for yourself. You already feel good about yourself. And they're freaking out. They're scared. They're scared they no longer have that power over you like they should, like they thought they should, like they did. But what's happening is you're transforming, and so are they. You could label it and sit there and say, this is a bad thing, they're freaking out, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this, or you can just say it is what it is, because this is what I desire to be. This is who I desire to be, without this label. I don't need that label. You can have your label back, and here, transfer the title to your own name. My name's not under you anymore. No thank you. No thank you. And then, when you do that, your whole environment changes energetically. You've just done something where you have cracked time. You have cracked the cycle that keeps going, right? The codependency of being abused and the abuser and the aggressive, submissive type of relationship. On all fronts, you've cracked that. You've stopped it. There's no longer a cycle. It can't continue. And you either both grow together or you grow apart. That's how the relationship works. And a lot of people say, well, I don't know if I can get out of this because who else will love me? Right? Or who else will be there for me? I don't think anybody else can be what this person has been to me. And that person normally has a name, right? John or Joe or Carol or whoever, right? And it's like, let's say, for instance, an example, the person's name is Janice. Well, who will I be without Janice, right? Janice loves me, and I want her to love me, but I don't want her to keep abusing me. I want to be with her, but I want her to change. How many of us stay in relationships because we want the other person to change? All the while giving away our personal power to the other person that they never, ever asked for. We volunteered it. We volunteered our personal power to them. And now they have it. Now we're saying, nope, rip the label off. But it's scary, right? It's scary because you've been in this miserably comfortable relationship, right? You may not be happy, but it's comfortable because you're used to being miserable. But there has to come a point, there has to come a time where you say, who is this person that's in this relationship? Why am I allowing this person to control me? I'm better than this. And what is this? What's this thing that's attached to me? What is this label? That's not me. That's not who I want to be. This isn't the life I imagined for myself. But you're in that relationship and you're with that person for that exact revelation. You have attracted that person into your life. You have brought that person into your life mentally, energetically, to make that transformation. Perhaps if it's a very abusive relationship, it might be one of the final tests, like the last straw type thing. Like at what point do you stand up? At what point do you reclaim your personal power? And stop giving it away to others that don't deserve it. Let them have their own personal power, right? And if they want to go manipulate people, fine. Just be a nod judgment, let them go do that, but they're not going to do it to you. Because you're not going to allow yourself. Where you have to go deep, deep within yourself and say, who the hell am I? Who am I? Because there's a title there, right? There's a title. There's always these titles. Who am I? Right? If I were to ask you, who are you? Right? Say, oh, well, I'm my name, right? I'm John Smith. Or say, no, that's just your name. But who are you? oh, I was raised in Illinois, and I have two parents, John and Janice, and they raised me there. And okay, yeah, that's your bloodline. But who are you? Okay, so I am. I went to school and at this place, and I went to college, and I'm doing this, and yes, that's your experience, that's your curriculum, that's your schooling. Okay, I'm a school teacher. Okay, that's your job, but who are you, right? When you've run out of excuses to tell other people of who you are, you're left with a very interesting question to yourself after someone says, yeah, but who are you? I don't know. I have no idea. Because we're all these products of our experience, aren't we? We're all these, well, I was abused at this age, or I came from a very loving family, or, okay, that's your experience, that's not who you are. The beauty of reclaiming your personal power is, who do you want to be? Because you're so much more. And if you were in a relationship that was really abusive at one point, and you're suddenly reclaiming your personal power and you're in a different place, right? Like we go from these extreme, like super sad and just, oh, my life is so crazy and whatever, and then you switch, and then you're like, oh, I feel so much better. How can we be those things if we can switch them like that, back and forth? We're not our emotions, we're not our thoughts, right? We're so much greater than that. And when you ask the question, who am I? You set forth a biological program called inner healing. You set that program in motion, and you start to explore on a very deep level all the things you think you are and all the things that you've associated yourself with that you thought you were. All the labels that you start ripping off and going, whoa, that doesn't work, that doesn't work, that doesn't work. But how do you find these labels? First of all, don't judge. Don't label the situation. Don't judge the situation. And you do something that is so freaking crazy in today's society, is you embrace your emotions. I know, right? What? What? Are you kidding me? No, I'm not allowed to embrace my emotions. I'm not going to be normal if I embrace my emotions, right? Someone's going to judge me because you're not supposed to cry in public. I mean, you're not supposed to cry as a man. You're really not supposed to cry at all, right? That was kind of my upbringing. Men don't cry, My uncle died. Yeah, well, there's people starving and in actual real pain in China and whatever. And did their uncle die? It's like, what the hell? Like why? Why can't I express this stuff, right? Oh, you look really pissed off and angry. You probably should see somebody. You need some medication. You need something, right? They're just dealing with their stuff. They're upset, they're angry. They're pissed off at life. Right? They shouldn't be, right? They're not allowed to have emotions. It's not right to have emotions. We're human. And something that we are not embracing is our actual humanity. See, as spiritual individuals that move through this world, they always talk to you about, oh, your riches are in heaven, and you need to look to a deeper picture. You need to rise above. Rise above. If you're going to rise above, why are you here on this planet? Like, honestly, what are you doing here? I would argue that you're here for a reason, because you are. And you are here to experience expression, self-expression. Because the only way to find your true root back to who you are is through this program that our biological machines run called emoting, or emoting our expressions. It's the only way to clean and clear all this stuff that we're harboring so close to our heart. But we take it and we keep it, shove it deep down in there and don't talk about it, right? But let's talk about my dreams. Let's talk about what I want to do. But no, don't talk. Get back down there. I am worthy. Shut up, right? Why aren't we expressing that? Why aren't we finding a sacred space and setting it up and saying, I am now putting my mind in motion and I am allowing my heart to take over and feel all the pain, feel all the fear, feel all the things that are keeping me away from my potential of finding out who I am. Because that's what it's about. This is about self-discovery and self-expression for self-discovery. How is an emotion negative or positive? What makes an emotion negative or positive? That's a good question. Like, what if my emotions are mainly negative? What makes them negative? What makes an emotion negative? Makes you feel bad? Makes you feel insecure? We hardly ever embrace those emotions unless you feel angry. Good. There are so many ways to channel that anger into something extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. And to question, why am I angry? What is it that makes me angry? What is it about me that someone else does that makes me angry? And if it wasn't them, I guarantee you it would be somebody else that would make you angry. There are triggers within us that are not us. They are stuck energy. They are lower chakra, stuck dimensional energy. And they will manifest themselves as anything they need to in order to get your attention. So, I'm angry. Society says, you shouldn't be angry. You need to see somebody. You need a therapist. You need a medication. But you know what a therapist and medication do? If they're going to put you on medication or they're going to tell you that there's something wrong with you, they mask the symptoms. The symptom is you're angry. The why you're angry is what's important. Somebody did something to me that made me angry. I've been abused. I've been all these things. That makes me angry. Okay. How many times in your life were you allowed to get that anger out in a safe and effective manner? That, let's say, for all intents and purposes, is a positive way. To fully embrace that in a space that's safe, you can write, you can beat the hell out of a punching bag, you can scream into a pillow, you can say all the things and all the people that you hate to get that emotion out. Get that emotion to the surface. Allow it to express itself because it's doing nothing there. It's festering down here. You're hiding it. You're saying, I shouldn't be angry. I'm not supposed to be human. I got to push this down. Stop. You don't have to unleash it on others because if you deal with it safely, like I said, you can write about it. You can sit there. You can write about how angry you are and whoever in your life or whatever situation that you're angry about. Don't judge it. Just write. It doesn't even have to be coherent. You can curse God, whatever the hell you have to do. You just get it out. And then when it's done and you have nothing else left to write, don't read it. Burn it. Set that emotion free. I guarantee you'll be less angry. And you do that. You channel, you set a special time for yourself to get that anger out. You set a special time where this anger is going to be released in a safe and effective manner that only affects you. No one else, because if you don't, I guarantee that anger is going to be unleashed in an unconscious manner on other people, and other people are going to absorb it. The one who's yelling is the one who's going to feel better when they're done yelling. The ones who are being silent, listening to the yelling, are the ones who are going to feel like crap when the person's done. Because they're just absorbing all of that energy. But that person that's yelling, yeah, I was mad. They can't stay mad. People can't stay mad for a long time if they actually get it out. It's when they do it in a manner that affects other people's free will. And the only way it affects other people's free will is if they participate, which is, once again, giving up your personal power. You don't have to stand for that. You don't have to listen to it. If they're not going to deal with it in a safe and effective manner, you don't have to be around. You don't have to deal with it. But once you emote, once you fully embrace all those emotions that are not you, they are products of your experience, what is left? The you that you want to be. The you that you truly desire to be. There's all these layers and labels, all this stuff. And what we'll find is the people that we have the closest relationships with are the ones that we're attracting to fulfill that need to bring up our stuff, right? Because we want to be free. We want to be free to be who we want to be. And that's the beauty of it. After all that stuff has been released and eliminated and processed through, you're only left with, wow, all that stuff wasn't me. And who am I? And the beauty is, you're whoever you want to be. You have a piece of paper? That is a perfect outlet. You would be very surprised at what an outlet that writing can be. You would be surprised at how much energy gets transferred. This is your receiving hand, the left hand. This is your giving hand. Not a writer. Not judging. Not judging. When you write, doesn't even have to be coherent, doesn't have to make sense, could just be ripping up the paper with your pen. But there is a transfer of energy that's getting out. You are transferring it out into the paper. All that energy, all that dense energy that's bogging you down, that's keeping you from clarity. Because you're so angry, you can't see past the edge of your nose. And that's where you're supposed to be. If you're aware that you're angry, and you're like, start judging that, man, I shouldn't be angry. No, why? Why are you angry? Why? It's the start with the why. There's a book called that. I can't remember the author's name. But it's start with the why. And it's the most important thing you can ask. Because when you get into a situation and you find yourself getting triggered, right? Someone says something and you just get so mad or so angry or so hurt, so deeply hurt. Why? You actually did a couple days ago. So when you got triggered, something really upset you? Did it anger you? Yeah, but so it angered you. Someone set you off. Why? Why did it make you angry? What is it about your experience that causes a feeling of anger to come out in those particular situations? I would arguably say that it might be something to do with giving away your personal power. That'll make anybody angry. Doesn't feel like they're in control. I was hoping to get an answer or something at the end of that, but nothing came out. Nothing came out from the trigger? I'm not following. Sorry. I'm trying to, sorry. Am I still being... Can you still see me okay? Hold on one second. Oh, expressing myself on paper? Okay. Okay. All right. So nothing came out when you started to write? You couldn't think of anybody you hated, or maybe you were mad at God, or maybe you're mad at your parents, or a friend, or a previous relationship? You couldn't think of anything like that that would get you angry? You've had just like a perfect life? I would say delve into it pretty deeply and think about it. You did? You did think about it? Wrote it all down? Nice. Nice. How'd you feel afterwards? The same? Didn't change myself, my emotions. It will. Give it time. Give it time. Give it time. That's something that we on this planet don't want to do. We don't want to give anything time. We don't want to have a timing for everything. But I guarantee something is going to come up in life that will be that test. Once you release all those emotions. If you don't feel anything, that's okay. But if you do start to feel something, don't judge it. Let it come. Let it happen. Embrace it. Embrace it. Embrace the fear with love, right? People say, oh no, you don't want to embrace fear with love. Fear's bad. Is it? If you embrace it with love, there is no fear. Well, I'm glad that's resonating with you, because anything I say, I have a particular thing that I'm trying to get across, a point that I'm trying to get across. But my point is not important. It's what resonates with you that's important. I don't profess to be a guru or a master in any way. In fact, I think that I'm a pretty good student and I can learn from people, because the first time that you set yourself up as the master, you've prevented yourself from ever finding the truth. If you're an expert, you can never find the truth because you know everything, right? So how could you ever actually be open enough to realizing that maybe someone remembers a little bit more than you do? So whatever I say, it is with deep intention. I have my intentions, but it's what resonates with you that's going to make a difference. I think I am almost out of time. Yep, I have been out of time. So anyway, I'm going to key to life. An education on self-discovery. Find yourself. I'm out of time for now. Please visit www.family.link, familylink.com, and I'll be here again next Monday at 9 p.m., and I will actually have a guided meditation that we're going to go through about the servant of the heart. So it's going to be really fun. I hope you all come back next Monday and join me for that. Also, if you get a chance, check out Alex Fairman